It's a world where things are not what they seem. It's a world of heroic Autobots and evil Decepticons, who are known as the Transformers.
Hey, and welcome back to eBEFOREi Video Reviews. Today we're taking a look at something very special. You see, this is a reissue of Transformers, the original Generation 1 Optimus Prime. And when I say original, I mean like this is what I had when I was a kid. Like in the 1700s, like Lincoln was president. I don't even know if that's true. I'm very old. Excuse me, where's my asthma spray inhaler? Where's my walker? Where's my prune juice? What else do old people do? Viagra. Where's my blue pill? Anyway, so, this was the original toy that I had as a kid. I mean, this is what started it all. This is Optimus Prime from Generation 1. It's not quite the exact same as the original, but it's very, very close. And I'm excited to rip this thing open and share it with you. I really, for a period of time, I thought about never opening this box, even though it's a reissue. I just wanted to keep it boxed up. But after thinking long and hard, that's what she said, I really decided that this was time to open this guy up and share it with all of you. So before we go there, let's take a quick look at the box. So the front has this very classic artwork of Optimus Prime. I mean, this is really the image that started it all. You have Transformers, more than meets the eye. Changes from trailer, truck to robot and back. All right, it says Generation 1. I don't think it did on the original box. On the bottom, it's for ages 5+. It's not for children under 3, so 4-year-old adults are perfectly fine. This is there's an Autobot symbol, and it says Autobot Optimus Prime. And you got the little Hasbro stamp down here. On the top of the box, it's kind of got a bit of a transformation sequence from start, change, 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 and finish. Pretty neat. On the side of the box, you've got a picture of Optimus Prime in his robot in his truck mode. On the other side, you've got reissues of Ultra Magnus and Rodimus Major. On the bottom of the box, it tells you what it includes, and it includes, of course, Optimus Prime, the truck cab, semi-trailer, 6-wheeled vehicle, 2 fists. What could those be used for? Laser blaster, pistol, 4 rockets, gas pump handle with hose, and instruction sheet. On the back of the box, you have the very iconic artwork that was on the back of all of the original Generation 1 Transformers. So you have drawings of Optimus Prime, Sunstreaker, there's Bumblebee down there, Starscream, Soundwave. I think that's Megatron. What else do we have here? Sideswipe, Prowl, and Laserbeak, and yeah, that's just, all the classics. They're there. And then over here on this side, you've got the bio, which you can take a second to read that. You have his technical specs, and they're all maxed out. That's what I loved about this toy back in the 80s. Screw this, hey, he's got a 9 for intelligence, because he's pretty smart, but he's not a 10. No! All 10s. This is Optimus Prime. 10. 10. See my fingers. 10. Speed 10. Intelligence 10. Speed is a 10. Take out the trash 10. Do the dishes 10. Folding laundry 10. This guy can do it all. Except play the piano. He's a really crappy piano player. 2 for piano. Everything else is a 10. Alright, so that's the box review. Let's go ahead and get this gingerly opened up and take a look at this very classic figure, Optimus Prime. You can see how compact everything is packed in here. Just looking at the figure, you can see that the smokestacks don't go up quite as tall as they did on the original toy, but everything else looks pretty good. Let's keep opening. Alright, so here's Optimus Prime out of the box in all of his glory, and here, you've got the front cab section and the trailer section, and it's fantastic. I mean, it's Optimus Prime. As you can see, it rolls really well. All the wheels are spinning here, even on my uneven desk. There's some great detail on the figure itself. Now, there are a few little things that might bug some people with the commemorative series of this figure. So we're going to kind of get into all that here. And then you guys make the call whether or not you think this is worth it for you. For a guy like me who had this original toy, 100%, I'm so happy that I have this. Let's go ahead and take a closer look. So here's the So here's the front cab separated from the trailer, and you know, there are some noticeable differences from the Generation 1 counterpart, most notably these smokestacks. Now on the original toy, the smokestacks were up about this tall, and I don't really understand why they changed it here. So, you know, I don't know if they thought that this was going to poke your eye out, or, you know, I don't know. I'm not really sure what the reason was there, but, you know, that's the one noticeable thing. You also have a rub symbol on the top, which was not a part of the first Generation 1 release of this figure. But still, you know, rub symbols are kind of cool, I suppose. I also don't remember the front wheels having this big spike that comes out of the hubcap. Now, maybe I'm completely off base there, but that's another thing that I don't recall. You also have painted on Autobot symbols on what will ultimately become the shoulders of Optimus Prime. And I do seem to recall that on the original toy, these were stickers. Outside of that, I'm not really complaining about anything. The wheels are still rubber, so that's really awesome. You have lots of detail in the actual die cast itself. And I should have mentioned this a while ago. There is die casting on this toy. Specifically, this section right here is good old die cast metal. Lots of detail in the plastic and in the metal itself. See all the little truck bits there and the windshield wipers built into the mold. Got a shiny front grille right there, piece of plastic. The front headlights, which is where the fists will plug into. This piece right here is paint, and I seem to recall again on the original toy that this was a sticker, so that's nice to have as well. On the top, molded into the die cast, again you've got the kind of horns and lights and things that are molded into the top, so that's really cool. Now, I can tell you that having rubber tires on a Transformer is awesome. And you don't see that these days. I mean, most of the tires on your Transformers today are plastic. So to have a rubber wheel, it's great. Now, as the owner of many G1 toys, I can tell you this is not going to last. Unless they've changed the process of how the rubber is made, these things are going to wear out over time, and they're going to become real brittle. Nonetheless, it feels great to have rubber tires on a toy like this. All right, other details on this figure. Again, you know, he's got the shiny plastic bits here. I guess that's where the gas tanks would be. You also have die cast right here on the bottom part of the trailer when that becomes his feet. So you've got die cast here and die cast there. Now, another thing that you can do with this figure is you can open up this front section. Just, you know, take your thumbs in here and pull it down. That's where I like to store his hands, but, you know, you've got little seats in there, which is neat. There's no steering wheel or any kind of, you know, in-truck detail, other than the fact that you've got a little space for seats. So if you have a small figure or a little toy you want to put in there, you can close it on up and you'll see him through the windshield, which is really cool. For me, I like to take these hands and store them in there, and that way you're just not going to lose them. All right, getting to the trailer itself, I mean, there's not really a whole lot to say about this before we open it up, other than it's a truck trailer. There is some nice detail. You've got the very iconic sticker here. And now this sticker was pre-applied, so I did not have to put this on. There's not a lot of molding, but there, you know, there is some. You've got these lines here. A little bit of design right here in the front section, as you can see. The other side is an exact duplicate on the other. It's got some stress marks here. Again, I don't know what would have caused that, but something to take note. On the top, you've got a hole, so you can close up the little mechanic artillery robot. Just kind of put him through there, and I'll show you him when I open this up. And the back trailer. This opens up, and you've got Roller. And he'll roll out. But yeah, this is Roller, the original toy. Doesn't transform, it's just a piece of plastic with wheels. Interestingly enough, the directions on this figure actually show that the wheels come in the plastic card, like it was manufactured for you to twist off. And that may have been that way on the original toy, but it wasn't this way in my package. The wheels were already assembled. I mean, he looked just like this, except he didn't have stickers on. So, something to be aware of. I don't know how yours will come, but I didn't have to do much there. Details in Roller, you know, there's not a whole lot to talk about. You've got these little pegs if you can put people in there and sit them down. You've got a top bit right there that you could plug the little gas tank or the gas hose accessory, which we'll talk about here in a few minutes. And some pretty nice detail in the molding. On the bottom, you just got a bunch of hollow junk and, you know, it's not meant to be impressive, it's the bottom. So on the top, you've got these pieces, and these came kind of pre-assembled as well. The little gas tank and the hose. And the hose was actually a separate piece. I had to kind of fit these two bits together. but they didn't come, on the original plastic card for me to take off. So you got this hole in the back. This thing fits right in the back. Then you've got his attached little gas tank, so you can, you can fill Prime up. You can oil the Tin Man, whatever you want to do. You got that right there. We'll go ahead and transform the trailer first. And I should mention also that you can fit deluxe class vehicles inside this trailer. I don't have any in front of me. In fact, I've got a Generations figure. So we'll see if we can have Trail Breaker. Yeah, he fits in there just fine. And close them up, and you can roll out. So that's kind of neat. But you can fit just about any deluxe size Generation 1. And as you can see, the newer Generations figures fit back there just fine. Anyway, to transform it, you just grab the two halves on the top, pull it apart, and it's a command center. That's a geeky thing to say, isn't it? But yeah, it's a command center. And I should mention on the bottom, to even this out, you take these little blue pieces right here, and you pull them open. What that does is it gives the trailer half stability and makes it real nice and flat. So you've got this little deal right here. You just reach in, pull this up. You've got a hinge inside of this, a hinge right there. So you get a lot of, unique type poses out of this. Now the radar actually flips up, and it's got a little dial in the back, so you can just kind of move this with your hand and, spin it around and do all kinds of stuff like that. You also have this robotic claw. It's not really robotic, but you know what I mean. This sits on a little ball joint in the back. And then you've got a hinge here, and the claw itself opens up. Get that back in the camera. So yeah, that's kind of neat. You can do some things with that. This little cockpit right here opens. Again, you can put a small figure here. I swear I used to have a figure that fit in these things. I don't remember if it came with Optimus Prime. It was a little gold figure. Maybe it came with something else. I don't know. But anyway, you can fit a little small guy in there. You also have some rocket launchers, and lo and behold, you've got a few rockets, and you can just push those inside. Like that, and they are spring-loaded, so when you push these buttons, it's not going to do a darn thing. Oh, wow. Except literally break your face off. There's a lot of force behind that. So yeah, you can break someone's face, you can poke their eye out. You can, if you want to torture like a little kid, you can just call them up and say, "Hey, Timmy, open your eyes." Bam! And you'll be like, you ever watch that Kenny Powers? I'm not even going to get into that here. Eyeballs on the street. So, there's a lot of different things that you can do with that, and that's pretty cool. Now, Roller, here's a neat little gimmick here. You can roll him up into the trailer and just kind of lock him in here. You've got this switch in the back, and when you push this down with your hand, it shoots Roller out, again, with quite the bit of force. I haven't seen a force eject like that since that science film I had to watch in the 5th grade, but it was quite the ejection there. Pretty neat. That's not bad. You also have some places inside. In fact, let me just take the camera and be all unprofessional and shaky mode here and show you inside. It's a lot of sticker detail, which is kind of neat. And then you have all these kind of make-believe sticker panels that were not a part of this. I had to actually put them on myself. If you watched any of my past reviews, you know that I just can't stand putting stickers on anything, but it's fine, as a one-time thing. It's okay. And it really does make it look a lot cooler when you open it up. So that's pretty neat. And then you've got "go" right there. You got to say it like that. You want to say it with me? 3, 2, go! See, I beat you to the count there. I cheated. But yeah, there's a little "go" and exclamation point, and an arrow pointing down in case you're confused which way you want Roller to come out of Prime's behind his trailer thing. So there's that. All in all, this is great. I don't really see a lot of differences between this and what we got in the original toy. These seem to be a bit longer. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but all in all, what a great piece right here. Really like that a lot. Let's get to Optimus Prime's transformation. Again, this is back in the day when, transforming a Transformer wasn't 17 steps. There was no YouTube. You couldn't watch things like eBEFOREi video reviews. Oh, the horror. Because I tell you, my channel's freaking awesome. But anyway, you couldn't watch things like my channel to teach you how to transform Transformers, and you didn't need to because they were so simple that you could take the leader of the Autobots and transform him in like 4 steps. And it wasn't like, oh my god, it's so simple. Like, I've got this transformer and it was just too easy and it sucks and I give it 1 No, forget that. These guys were easy. It took a few steps and you could make believe and play and not have to have your truck roll up into battle and go, Optimus Prime needs about 17 minutes to transform. No, none of that. You just do it and it's done. So to transform Optimus Prime, if you have the fists inside the cab, you just want to spit those out. Close this back up. You take the bottom part right here, and you can see that it's on these kind of grind gears right there. So you just want to lift these up and pull them all the way up so it's in an upright position like that. Take the bottom die-cast bits, which become his feet, and bend them forward, and you have basically, the bottom half of Optimus Prime. Then you take the front headlights, and you just pull these out, reach behind here, which become the shoulders, and just pull these forward, just like that. And literally, to finish the transformation, you reach your finger right back here, and you flip this panel, and you have a head reveal. And Optimus Prime, the leader of the Autobots, is transformed and ready for battle. Was that so hard? No. Come on, Hasbro. Now, I've seen some Hasbro previews where they've got these new, kind of bigger-sized figures that are really easy to transform. That just looks stupid. Forget everything I just said. That looks dumb because it looks like I don't know, maybe they pulled it off. We'll see. I'll reserve judgment. But there's got to be a way to find a happy medium between having articulation in a figure and having a transformation that's not too difficult. Here's Optimus Prime in robot mode with no stickers. At least, none of the additional stickers included if you want to see what he looks like. And next we'll get the stickers put on. So here's Prime in his robot mode, and he looks just great. Now, he doesn't quite resemble the cartoon. So, they made him look a little bit different than the Generation 1 cartoon, but the basics are here. You've got the head sculpt, which looks great. In this particular version of the figure, you've got yellow painted into the eyes, some silver on the crest and silver on the mouthpiece, and then just, in general, the classic Optimus Prime head as we all know and love. The cab section is not a cheat. Again, you saw what I did, and this is the actual front part of the truck, and it becomes the chest in robot mode. His legs themselves, they come down, and you've got a hinge right there. So there is some posability, not a lot, and there really wasn't a lot of posability with Generation 1 figures in general. I come back to the smokestack bit. This just looks weird. I wish that was a little bit taller. I wish it was a baller. No. It's terrible. That was a terrible song. Terrible. But, so there's that issue with Optimus Prime. Articulation, just getting right to it, there's no head movement at all. I mean, you can tip this whole panel if he wants to look up, but that looks stupid, so never do that. Ever. He has a rotating hinge right here in his arm. On his elbow, you can see that it's got a spring in there, and I don't remember that being spring-loaded on the Generation 1 toy. I think that it was just like a ratchet-type joint. Maybe I'm wrong. So please feel free if you know the answer to that, whether or not it used to be that way. Due to transformation, this bit goes back, as you already know, and you do have bending at the knee. You also have some foot articulation, again, all due to transformation. Now, again, you can't really get a whole lot of posability with this guy, but, it's just, if you're going to display him, you could stand him up straight, and, he'll look pretty cool. You can open up his arms and he can hold his rifle, and you get a little bit of posability out of it. Now, he does have his rifle, and you can take his rifle and put it in his hands. And maybe that's why they made the fist change, because I seem to recall on the original Prime that in order to get this thing in his arm, you had to almost tilt it at an angle like that. And that's why you used to see all the pictures of Generation 1 Prime, and he'd have this goofy slant to his gun. So maybe that's what eliminates that issue, is making the hand look like that. Let's look at the detail up close on Optimus Prime before we end this review. I mean, again, as I mentioned, the iconic head, you've got the windshield here for the chest, the silver plastic bit for the grill and the front bumper, which again carry over in robot mode and I think looks pretty good. The legs, this part is the same thing. It looks die-cast, but it's not. It's just shiny, hollow plastic. The legs themselves are plastic, but some decent detail in there. Stickers applied, so you can see that right there. Stickers on the feet. Turning them around, there's not really any truck kibble. It's just kind of hollow and flat. And, you know, you've got this little bit of plastic that flares out, but nothing too bothersome. All in all, I think this is one of the better figures for its time. But of course, opinions can vary there. Size comparing Optimus Prime to some newer type figures. Here he is next to the Deluxe Optimus Prime from Transformers the movie. I believe this was the Dark of the Moon Deluxe. And you can see that this one still kind of towers over him. He's bulkier, he's bigger. So for Generation 1, which was a smaller scale, granted, he was more of a leader class or a Voyager class figure back in that time frame. But, you know, he's a pretty decent size. There he is next to Masterpiece Prowl, and you can see he begins to shrink a little bit. But for the time, you know, he really scaled quite well. Here he is next to Wheeljack. This is my original Generation 1 Wheeljack. It's in kind of rough shape. Don't judge, don't judge. That's not a reissue Wheeljack. That's the real deal. So there's your Deluxe Wheeljack size comparison, so you get kind of an idea that Optimus was pretty big back in the day. Until Rodimus Prime came along. I'm geeking out, people. I'm geeking out. This is Generation 1 Rodimus Prime. So, yeah, here's Rodimus, and we'll size compare Rodimus. Again, you see how easy these transformations are. A little flip there, a little flip here. A little head pop up. See, that's when things got a little weird for me, because Rodimus just kind of towered over Optimus, and he was kind of lanky, and, you know, not really the way that he was portrayed in the TV show at all, or the movie, I should say. But anyway, there's the Rodimus Prime and Wheeljack size comparison, all from Generation 1, so there you go. Anyway, we'll go ahead and leave it there. I hope you've enjoyed this review. This was fun for me. I hope you got some enjoyment out of it as well. A little bit of a blast from the past for me, and a lot of fun. Hope you had a good time. I want to thank everybody for watching my channel. This is youtube.com/eBEFOREiNet. If you click down below in the video section, you'll see all kinds of reviews of Transformers and, you know, Doctor Who and some Coca-Cola products and, you know, some male grooming utensil. I don't know. I just got all kinds of things. And don't forget, if you haven't done it yet, I'm giving away MP15. This is Rumble and Jaguar Masterpiece set. If you're interested in winning something like this, or in fact this very thing, then check the video description for instructions. Thanks again for watching. We'll see you back here again real soon.